Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. The screen is lighting up like a Christmas tree as we are talking about this one. It is now down to 1 at some books out there. It is a pick'em at one of the books as well. Coming off of this Browns side, 39.5 is your total. I have a Browns -2 ticket. It is going to end up being a bad number because it came out that Deshaun Watson is questionable for this game and has been limited throwing the ball in practice all week because he has a sore right shoulder. Adam, this is not good if your quarterback cannot throw the football forward. So my bet, I don't love at all. I used to love it. I don't love it near as much anymore, which is really unfortunate in everything because this Browns defense, and it still might be good enough, right? But they've just been absolutely incredible so far under Jim Schwartz. Number 1 DVOA, number 2 Pro Football Focus, number 1 EPA per play allowed, number 1 success rate allowed, all of that. So, I mean, there's a ton to love on that side of it. But as we know, the quarterback position is still the most important position in all of sports. And so if your guy can't throw it, that seems to be a problem.
I mean, do you think there's any therapy that they could attempt to do to help him?
I've heard of things, but you know, probably not afforded to him actually. Like
because he's a sexual predator. So
probably not afforded to him actually.
They should.
They're just like rub some tussin on it. Like they're just like he's like, are you sure I can like just rub? Icy hot. Just you get icy hot. Yeah, that's it.
Couldn't happen to a better human being. So that's obviously going to change any handicap I would have on this. But where I was leaning in the first place would have been under, and you know, that's probably where I would stick if it is hopefully Dorian Thompson-Robinson, because I would actually like to see the local kid get some runs, see what he can do, because he looked great in the preseason. Kid came into UCLA with a whole lot of pedigree and then needed all 5, 6, 7, however many years he was there to be able to kind of get things together. And then he looked pretty good for the Browns before the regular season. So in the end, good news also for Baltimore along the offensive line, where at least some potentially encouraging news on Linderbaum and Stanley for them to get healthy there. Doesn't seem like Gus Edwards is going to have issues with concussion moving forward here. So all that said, I'll probably end up passing on this game overall with the uncertainty on Deshaun Watson. But the only way I would look at it is to say this is one of those divisional slugfest games with a very, very, very good defense and actually a fairly good Ravens defense and a good defensive coordinator as well that could make it something like 17-13 by the time we're done.
Mary Kay Cabot, one of the very best beat writers out there, she is very entrenched with the Browns, says, talk to Deshaun Watson in the locker room. He didn't want to elaborate, but says he's okay and expects to face the Ravens. That's coming through about 40 minutes ago from her. So this is, again, just a beat. We're not saying that's what's going to happen. We're just giving you what is coming through from one of the better beat reporters that is out there. Steven, if we look, I mean, we've talked about these defenses and what they've been able to do. And this Browns team is absolutely phenomenal so far. They have the single best performances each week so far, in 1, 2, and 3. They're getting the 3rd highest pressure rate in the league, despite only blitzing 16 at the 16th highest rate. And if you want to make a case for them, no matter what's going on with his shoulder with Deshaun Watson, it's the fact that Lamar has been awful against pressure so far this year. Yes, it is a small sample size. We're only 3 games in, but he is 33rd out of 34 qualifying quarterbacks in passer rating when pressured. He is dead last in EPA per play under pressure so far this year. And he is without Odell and he is without Rashad Bateman in this game as well. So, I mean, I don't know how you get much better at it whenever you don't have 2 of your key weapons to go along with all of that. So maybe the defense will be enough in this game for the Browns.
Possibly. I will also just mention that Baltimore's got a pretty good defense too, and they've been a little banged up on top of it. So despite those injuries, they are top 5 by DVOA defense. They are number 6 by EPA. They've been strong against the run as well. If Cleveland has to go a little more run heavy here with Watson's arm, I bet Baltimore +3 earlier this week, kind of just buying low on them off of what I thought was a fairly unlucky performance against the Indianapolis Colts. and a very low total game, divisional matchup. They know each other really well. So really just taking a key number in a rock fight, to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and brag about my CLV because I had no idea Deshaun Watson was going to have this type of issue with his shoulder.
Yeah, nobody did, right? I mean, that just kind of came out of nowhere. That
really
came out of
did.
nowhere. Yeah.
So I'm sitting at a decent number here, but at this point with where the line is, I think I kind of just stay away because you could have some volatility here with how good these two defenses are.
Yeah, I will say this on the defensive side of the ball for the Ravens. Ajabo, Owe, Humphrey, all DNPs the last 2 days. That's never any good for them too. Kyle Hamilton was at least upgraded to limited yesterday. So there's that. But yeah, it looks pretty bleak for them. But again, if you're playing a quarterback that can't throw the ball, that really does kind of
certainly not as promising as the Ravens offensive injury report this week.
Yeah, let me tell you, I was really liking that bet, and then it was I don't love it near as much anymore. So we'll see how this all plays out. Again, 90 minutes before game time is when official injury reports have to be in. You'll probably get a leak before then from one of the writers as to what's going to be going on with Deshaun Watson in this game.